Today, our topic is how to stop complaining, the Stoic challenge. Complaining is something everyone does, but it doesn't help us. It makes us feel worse and doesn't solve problems. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us how to handle life better by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. This way, we can stop complaining and live a happier, more peaceful life. Let's talk about how to do this step by step. First, understand that complaining is a habit. We complain when things don't go our way, when people don't act as we want, or when life feels unfair. But the truth is, life is full of things we can't control. The weather, traffic, other people's actions, and even many of our own emotions are not always in our hands. Stoicism teaches us to accept this. Instead of complaining about what we can't change, we should focus on how we respond to these challenges. This is where our power lies. One key idea in Stoicism is the difference between what we can control and what we can't. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control and some things are not. Our thoughts, actions, and choices are in our control. Everything else, other people's opinions, the past, the future, and external events are not." When we complain, we often focus on things we can't control. This is a waste of energy. Instead, we should focus on our own actions and attitudes. This shift in thinking can help us stop complaining. Let's look at an example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You can't control the traffic, but you can control how you react to it. If you complain, you'll feel frustrated and stressed. But if you accept the situation and use the time to listen to music, think, or relax, you'll feel better. This is the Stoic approach. It's not about pretending everything is perfect, but about choosing how to respond to life's challenges. Another Stoic principle is to see obstacles as opportunities. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that challenges can help us grow. When something goes wrong, instead of complaining, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? This mindset turns problems into teachers. It helps us become stronger and wiser. To stop complaining, we also need to practice gratitude. Stoics believed in focusing on what we have, not what we lack. When we complain, we often focus on what's wrong. But if we take a moment to think about what's going well, we'll feel more positive. For example, if you're upset about a bad day at work, think about the fact that you have a job, a home, and people who care about you. Gratitude shifts our focus from problems to blessings. It reminds us that life, even with its challenges, is still good. Another important Stoic practice is to prepare for difficulties. Life is unpredictable, and things will go wrong. Stoics call this Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. It means thinking about what could go wrong, so we're ready when it happens. This doesn't mean being negative. It means being realistic and prepared. For example, if you're going on a trip, think about possible delays or problems. If they happen, you won't be surprised or upset. You'll handle them calmly. This practice reduces the need to complain, because we're ready for challenges. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on the present moment. Complaining often comes from worrying about the past or future. We regret things that happened or fear what might happen. But the past is gone, and the future is uncertain. The only moment we truly have is now. By focusing on the present, we can stop complaining and start living. For example, if you're worried about a presentation at work, instead of complaining about how hard it is, focus on preparing for it. Take it step by step. This way, you'll feel more in control and less stressed. Another way to stop complaining is to practice empathy. Often, we complain about other people. We think they're selfish, rude, or unfair. But Stoicism teaches us to understand others. Everyone is doing their best with the knowledge they have. If someone acts badly, it's often because they're struggling or don't know better. Instead of complaining about them, try to understand their situation. This doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but it helps you respond with kindness instead of anger. Stoicism also reminds us of our own imperfection. We all make mistakes and have flaws. When we complain about others, we should remember that we're not perfect either. This humility helps us be more patient and less critical. It also helps us focus on improving ourselves instead of blaming others. To stop complaining, we need to change our language. Words have power. When we complain, we use negative words that make us feel worse. Instead, try to use positive or neutral words. For example, instead of saying, "This is terrible," say, "This is challenging, but I can handle it." This small change in language can make a big difference in how we feel. Another Stoic practice is to reflect on our day. At the end of each day, think about what happened. Ask yourself, did I complain today? Why? What could I have done differently? This reflection helps us become more aware of our habits. Over time, we'll complain less and handle challenges better. Stoicism also teaches us to value inner peace over external success. Many of us complain because we want more and more money, more success, more recognition. But Stoics believe that true happiness comes from within. It comes from being virtuous, calm, and content. When we focus on inner peace, we stop comparing ourselves to others and complaining about what we don't have. We appreciate what we have and find joy in simple things. Finally, Stoicism reminds us that life is short. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Complaining wastes our time and energy. Instead of complaining, we should make the most of every moment. We should focus on what matters: our relationships, our growth, and our contribution to the world. In conclusion, stopping complaining is not easy, but it's possible with practice. Stoicism gives us tools to handle life's challenges with calm and strength. By focusing on what we can control, practicing gratitude, preparing for difficulties, and living in the present, we can reduce our complaints and live a happier life. Remember, life will always have ups and downs, but how we respond is up to us. Let's take the Stoic challenge and stop complaining. Instead, let's focus on what we can do to make our lives and the world better.